Hello and welcome to my playthrough of Super Mario Brothers 3. And I think I've already messed up a little bit because I wanted to start it up when the curtain goes up, but I think I missed that part. Oh well, I'm not a professional video game player or commentator. I'm just making this video because I played through this game dozens of times over the years, and it's probably my favorite video game of all time, and I thought it'd be fun to make a playthrough video. I'm going to play through one world at a time. I'm going to leave times for each level in the description below, so if you're wondering about a certain level, you can look it up in the description and just skip right to it. I'm going to try to comment while I'm playing, just so it's not dead silence while I'm playing the game. I'm just going to try to have good commentary. Like I said, I've never done this before. I'm just going to try to have commentary that's not too cringy, and I'll be happy with it. My voice is a little bit hoarse, and I might cough a little bit because I have a cold. It's not that I'm just like in poor health. Other than that, I'm generally a healthy person. A healthy person, not mentally, of course, but physically I'm pretty decent. Except I have a cold right now, so it makes my voice a little bit hoarse. So if you can fly over here. And there's a 3. It stands for Super Mario 3. This game was a huge deal when it came out. If you're wondering why I'm not getting all the coins, I have a reason. I'll just tell you what that reason is in a second. But yeah, this game was a huge deal when it came out. I was very young, but I still remember what a big deal it was. There was even a movie about it called The Wizard. It wasn't about this game per se, but the movie kind of did end up being a giant advertisement for this game and the Power Glove. This game is obviously a better product than the Power Glove ever was. The Power Glove didn't really work. Alright, so I have 11 coins. And the reason why I have 11 coins is because if you finish a level with 11 coins, you get a secret coin chip. Of course, you can finish with 22 coins or 33 coins, as long as it's a multiple of 11. But 11 coins is easiest. And level 1 is just the easiest level to do this, so that's why I'm doing this now. Now, if you look at my score, I have 3,450 points. The tens digit is a 5 because it's 50. The tens digit has to be a 1. It has to correspond to the multiple of 11 that your coins are. So if I had 22 coins, it would have to be a 2. If I had 33 coins, it would have to be a 3. But I have 11 coins, so my tens digit, I have 3,510 coins. The tens digit is a 1. And the final part of the equation is you got to finish the level with an even amount of time. If you finish with an odd amount of time, the time bonus will kind of mess with your score. And you don't want that, so you got to finish with an even amount of time. And you also want to finish the level while running, because if you run and jump and get the card, you get a star. And if you get 3 stars, you get extra lives. So you got to run to the end of the level. So it's tricky because you got to time it. The time counter actually slows down when you run, so it's kind of tricky to time. But let's see if I can do it. If I start running now. All right. So that should work. If you take a look at the bottom of the map, the Hammer Brothers walking around by the bridge over there should have just changed to a white coin ship, and it did. The symbol on the sail, I believe, is the Chinese symbol that means fortune. I think it's based on an old Chinese legend about a ship full of treasure in the sky. Nintendo, of course, is a Japanese company. But I think the legend's Chinese. Don't quote me on that. I could just be making all this up. I'd have to double check. I'm just saying that from memory. So here in level 2, you had a chance right off the bat to get 99 lives, which is nice because there's really some levels later in the game that can eat up a lot of lives. So they give you a chance right away to get 99 lives. I'm not going to get all 99 lives because it'll take too long. I'm just going to get a few. But if you wait till 4 Goombas come out, it's easiest if you wait till 4 Goombas come out because the system kind of starts slowing down. You kind of see the limitations of the system. And then if you start jumping on them, you start getting extra lives, and you can just do this indefinitely. Like I said, the system has limitations, but this game, as far as controls, gameplay, and graphics go, is head and shoulders above 99% of all other Nintendo games. There were other good Nintendo games. There were really a lot of bad Nintendo games, but this game, it just blows most of them away. And it's really in a league, almost in a league of its own. There's only a very few games which could even compare to Mario 3 in terms of how classic it is. And with the Nintendo Classic Edition coming out, I'm just a little bit nostalgic for these old games. So I suppose that's really the main motivator to why I decided to play this game now and make a playthrough. Oops, I missed that. 1-up. There's a 1-up up there if you get the hidden block. Actually, I could just fly it because I'm a raccoon. In Mario World, raccoons can fly. So if you go down here, there's some coins. Where was I? Oh yeah, this game was the epitome of 8-bit games. It came out in 1990. I know the title screen says copyright 1988, but it actually came out in 1990. I double checked. I looked that up just to make sure, and I wanted to mention it was very late in Nintendo's lifespan. Just a year later, the Super Nintendo and Sega. I think the Sega Genesis actually might have already been out, but the Super Nintendo would come out. I'm not sure. I would have to double check that. But the Super Nintendo would come out the next year, and then you would have like the infamous 16-bit game console wars that kind of defined a large part of my childhood. And man, they would run commercials against each other all day about which one was better. If you don't have a Sega, you fucking suck. And if you don't have a Super Nintendo, you're a fucking loser. Not quite like that, but they were still like nasty. If you guys thought the recent presidential campaign between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton was nasty, then you don't remember the console wars, because those were really nasty. I think as a smug former Super Nintendo owner, I could quite definitely say that history has definitely vindicated the Super Nintendo as being the superior game system in retrospect. But at the time, it was hard to tell. The Sega Genesis had Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a huge deal at the time. The Sega Genesis had violent games with blood in them, which was a big deal at the time. Mortal Kombat would go on to become a huge game, and no one wanted the Super Nintendo because the Super Nintendo version didn't have all the blood and guts. But the Super Nintendo had classic games that the Sega just couldn't touch, like Zelda, Super Mario Kart, Super Metroid, Star Fox. I should have commented on the game a little bit. So I just got a warp whistle, which allows you to warp to different worlds. I'm not going to use it, but I just got it just to show you. And the way you do that is you find that white block at the end of the level and just duck down on it, and it just drops you behind the scenery. It has to be the white block. And if you duck down for a few seconds, you drop down. If you run to the end of the level, you end up there and get the warp whistle. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, and the Super Nintendo had all the classic RPGs. So Super Nintendo is still a system with games with a lot of games with immense playability. That being said, even though it had great Mario games with it too, like Mario World, which I've probably played through about as many times as I played through Mario 3. Yoshi's Island was a great Mario game. It was kind of different, but it was still great. This is probably still my favorite Mario game of all time. Even Mario 64, which was a great game. As crazy as it sounds, I think I've had more fun over the years playing Super Mario 3. It's just like a classic movie. Some of the movies have gotten bigger and better, but some movies, old movies like, I don't know, The Godfather, I suppose, is a classic example. They're just classic. They're just really good, even though they're old. So this is level 4. And this level is kind of tricky because it's possible to get a white toad house in this level, but to get it, you really got to get every last coin. Is that possible? Yeah, we got the power up, but I did not pick up the turtle shell. That's alright. I have a tail. I can get the one up just by whipping my tail at the block. Alright, so this is a little bit tricky. You got to get every last coin here, and you really can't take a break because you got to get all these too. I missed one. That's alright. I think you're allowed to miss one. I should still get the white toad house. If you get all of these coins and you finish level, a white toad house pops up, and which gives you a P-wing, which is probably the best power up in the game. Alright, so this is tricky. You have 2 stars. I want to get a 3rd star. To do that, I have to run, but I don't really have enough room here to build up speed. Right? So, and if you turn around, you lose all your momentum. But what you can do is kind of run and jump around, because if you jump in midair, the game doesn't take your momentum away. So you just kind of run and jump around until you build up enough speed, and then that way you can get the 3rd star. Alright, now if I did this right, I should have a white toad house. There it is. And this is, it gives you a P-Wing, which is probably the best power up in the game. It allows you to fly through a level. So if it's, as long as it's not like a water level or a sky ship, you can use a P-Wing to, well, even some sky ships I think you can use this, but you can use a P-Wing to fly through the level in its entirety. So if a level is problematic and giving you trouble, you can use that just to get through it. There's also a power-up called, that looks like a little cloud. It's called something shoe. I can't actually remember, but that also allows you to skip a level. But the P-Wing's better because if you use the cloud, you can still be sent back. If you die in a later level, you can still be sent back to before the level that was giving you trouble. So the P-Wing will allow you to beat a level permanently instead of just skip it. But this is still World 1. The levels are still all fairly easy and straightforward. There's some levels later in the game that can get really tricky. Alright, so we're almost done here. Just gotta get another mushroom. I feel like I should have gotten a star. I feel like I was running fast enough. Got a mushroom though. Alright, that's alright. So this is the treasure ship. This is just a fun little bonus level. There's no real enemies except for there's a couple of boomerang brothers at the end of the level. You know, if you just kind of run back and forth, you can get every single last coin. Almost there. Alright, there's a few more coins to get. Where'd I go? I think I was expecting not to be on top of that post. I think I was, and it just didn't show me. It just, from my perspective, it looked like I just kind of disappeared, or at least it felt like that. Alright. So I think there's a 1-up around here somewhere. There it is. This level has blue 1-ups, which is weird. Also, this block is changing color, and I have no idea why. But anyway, so let's get these guys and get the prize. We got a star. I wonder if I can go back up that pipe. No. Alright, we also got a card game. You get these every 80,000 points, and you match cards and you get power-ups. Now they come in a few preset configurations, and I can remember some better than others. So let's see how well I remember this one. I'm actually doing not bad. No, okay, I messed up. Mushroom, I have no idea. Is there a mushroom over here? No. Okay, so I got a few right off the bat, so. Alright, level 6. Alright, so, I lost my train of thought. I was going to talk about something. I forget what. Oh well. Alright, so I think there's a 1-up in one of these blocks. I think it's not that one, but this one. Alright. Oh yeah, and down here there's just some coins in these blocks. Actually, I can do better than that. If I run, duck, there we are. Alright, so I think I could actually just fly to another level from here. Actually, no, let me drop down here and ride the thing to the end of the level. There's a platform coming right here. Alright. Let's see, there I got a star. I don't know why I didn't get a star last time, but oh well. Alright, so I'm skipping all the toad houses on the map just to save time. And those things that look like a spade card, that's just like a matching game. You can match up like 3 things like a slot machine, and you can get some extra lives there. I never quite figured that out, how to do that, but I just skip them. So here the king has been changed into a dog, which is obviously a horrible development for the kingdom. The servant is jumping around in grief. As a good friend to the Mushroom Kingdom, we must go change him back. You can't have a kingdom without a king after all. And a dog obviously can't perform the functions of a monarch. You just have anarchy. You have You'll have like wild turtles roaming around your kingdom, ships flying through the air that just blast everything in sight. You don't want that. So you got to get the king back. Of course, not everyone likes kings. Like America, I believe, if I remember my history class, fought a Revolutionary War because either because they didn't like kings or because they were mad about a tax on tea or something. So not everyone likes king, but this kingdom needs its king. So let's just go get the magic wand so we can change them back. I still remember the first time I played this guy. I don't remember how old I was actually, but yeah, this guy blew my mind. This game was just head and shoulders above like every other Nintendo game that I owned. And there was a lot of classic Nintendo games too, like I don't know, like Punch Out, Contra, the other Marios, the Zeldas. There were really a lot of classic Nintendo games, but this game was just like in a league of its own almost. Alright, so everything's back to normal. We rescued, well, we haven't rescued anybody, but we changed the king back. We rescued the king from his fate, from being a dog with fleas, probably. Oh, I sneezed, that's my cold. Alright, we got a letter from the princess. She's given us a P-Wing, so we're doing good there. And we're off to World 2, and that makes the end of this video, so thanks for watching, and I'll upload the video to World 2 pretty soon. Alright, thanks.